let's take a look at our top selections for the... Hi everybody, Dan Illman here taking a look at race number 4 at Remington Park on Sunday. Let's throw up the field for the Grade 3 Remington Park Oaks. 3-year-old fillies going 1 1/16. $100,000 is the purse, and there's a deserving favorite on the morning line. The number 4 Envoûtante is 7-5 for Ken McPeak, dropping out of a couple of Grade 1 stakes races where she was in real tough against some of the better 3-year-old fillies in the country. So some class relief and a little distance relief as well for Envoûtante. She looks like the horse to beat. I'm really intrigued by the Timeform US pace projector for this race because I don't believe there's a ton of speed. The 3 Curls and Bows, in my opinion, is as likely to make the front as anyone else. Paige Ann, the 6, I believe, is going to be forwardly placed, as is the 7, Hot as a Pistol. Maybe even the 1 Trixie Racer, stretching out off several sprints, will be close to the lead. But I do think there will be some jockeying for position going into the first turn, and I'm not sure if this pace will be entirely fast. As for Trixie Racer, let's go back to her most recent start right here at Remington Park, going 6.5 furlongs. This is an allowance race, and I like the way she came from off of it to win. Now, maybe she's a closing sprinter at heart. Her defining victory came in a stakes race at Remington Park last year, but she likes this surface. She is by Kentucky Derby winner Orb out of a Giant's Causeway mare, so she has the pedigree to last this distance, and she is at least stakes placed going a mile around 2 turns at Delta Downs. I think it's really up to the rider to keep Trixie Racer within range. Again, I'm not sure if this pace is going to be very fast, and it might not behoove her to sit at the back of the pack and hope to make one run again, but breaking from the inside post, stretching out in distance, I think she does have the tactical ability to stay close if need be. She's stepping up in class. The number 2 Seattle Slang just scored last time out for Steve Asmussen. I wonder if this Tappet filly's finally coming into her own. Let's watch that race, a 1-mile affair at Ellis Park. She sold for $600,000 as a 2-year-old in training. There have always been high hopes for Seattle Slang, and she finally put it all together in this most recent race, earning a career best 81 Buyer's speed figure. Now she's going to have to step up into the stakes ranks for the first time, and she doesn't have a ton of early speed. I wonder if she's going to be compromised just a bit by the expected moderate to slow pace up front, but she still has a lot of upside potential. It's too early to give up on Seattle Slang. The 3 is Curls and Bows, another one that just seems to be putting it all together at the right time. She's a daughter of Curlin, and she's won her last 2 races for Kenny McPeak, including this race at Ellis Park on August the 21st, where she's just up to win late. She beat 2 next out winners, and she's a filly that doesn't mind being in and among horses in a little bit of traffic. As the Timeform US pace projector indicates, she has the tactical speed to be close to the pace, and while her buyers are still a little bit light, they're moving the right way. I think extra distance is going to be okay for her. She's bred to get the trip, and she might be in prime position when they turn into the stretch. Envoûtante, as I mentioned in the opener, is simply the horse to beat. She looked good winning 3 starts back at Churchill Downs despite failing to change leads. They ran her in the Ashland against Speech and Venetian Harbor, 2 excellent 3-year-old fillies, and she sort of was one pace that day. She's just not as good as those horses. And last time out in the Alabama, she was in against Swiss Skydiver, who came back to run such a game second in the Kentucky Oaks with a 99 Buyer. The horse that finished directly in front of Envoûtante, Harvey's Little Goyle, came back to run second in the Dueling Ground Oaks with a 93 Buyer. Envoûtante saved ground early, and I thought she was ridden a bit conservatively by Jose Ortiz, who I think was really concerned about being stuck behind a tiring pace setter along the inside. He tried to get Envoûtante out, and I think by the time she got into the clear turning for home, Swiss Skydiver was gone. She wasn't going to win anyway. Maybe she would have been a little bit closer, but based on her speed figures and the class drop, she's the horse to beat. Darlene Strong is the number 5, and we're going to take a look at Darlene Strong's most recent race at Prairie Meadows, an optional claiming race. What's notable about this performance is that this is her first start around 2 turns, and she stayed close to the pace, and she really put the field away in the stretch. Now, these are obviously weaker horses that she's going to be facing on Sunday, but she has now won her last 2 starts by a combined 9 lengths. There's nothing wrong with that, and at least she showed she could handle 2 turns. I wonder if maybe she gets a little bit aggressive coming out of the gate and tries to at least get close to this pace. Paige Ann is the number 6, and she's a filly that's kept good company for Simon Callahan. Her most recent start, the Grade 3 Torrey Pines, she was in against Harvest Moon, who is a nice filly in her own right. She's either going to run Sunday in the Ruffian or in the Black-Eyed Susan next week. It was an 80-buyer performance for Paige Ann, a good effort. She's faced nice horses, and she's run well on dirt and synthetic. She's very versatile. She has tactical speed, and if Envoûtant stubs her toe, maybe Paige Ann is the one to perhaps grab this race by the horns. Hot as a Pistol is the number 7. I just couldn't find the excuse other than the wet track last time out for Hot as a Pistol, who has run well on wet tracks in the past. That race was at Canterbury against fellow Minnesota breds. There wasn't a lot of pace on in that race, and she was just simply no match for the winner, Clickbait, who ran away and hid in the stretch. 66 buyers just not going to do it for Hot as a Pistol. She steps up in class. She is versatile enough to win from on or just off the lead, but she might need a career best performance if she's going to take down Envoûtant and some of these others. Jewel Princess, like several others in this race, is just coming into good form right now for McPeak. She's won her last 3 races, or at least finished first in her last 3 races. She was disqualified from her most recent start at Churchill Downs for an incident coming out of the gate, but she was the best horse, I believe, in that race, and she also chased a pretty fast pace to boot. I like her tactical speed. She's very comfortable at this distance. She's not as classy yet as the 4 Envoûtant, but she still has some upside, and she's been on quite a role most recently. We take a look at my top selections for the Remington Park Oaks. I can't get past Envoûtant. I just think this class drop is what the doctor ordered. I think she's been in good form and maturing well for Kenny McPeak, who has a very strong hand in this race. I'm going to go 4, 2, 6, and 8 in the Grade 3 Remington Park Oaks, one of the major attractions on Oklahoma Derby Sunday at Remington Park. Approximate post time for the Oaks, 4:24 Central. Best of luck.